Hello, 8th graders. This lesson is just for you, an introduction to musical keys. Your assignment for today is to watch this video, so you're doing great so far, and then fill out the form in Google Classroom to put what you learned into practice. So over here on the left side of the screen is what we'll be dealing with mostly. It's a document that I'll be going through with you to teach you about musical keys, okay? So the first big text here, every song has a key. Think of it like a key of a map. It tells you important information about the song. A key of a map, of course, looks kind of like this over here on the top right. We have sort of a diagram here, and then we have symbols, and then a key which tell you what the symbols mean. This red line, we know that it's a road. This dotted black line, we know it's a railroad. It goes on and on. So the same type of thing happens in music where we have every song has what's called a key. And generally, in music, the key of a song tells us what do is. Okay? When we sing solfege in class, we just do it without piano. We do it without looking at any music, right? We just do kind of call and response solfege. Well, now we're going to start putting it to paper. And so in music, the key of the song tells us what do is. They can come in major and minor, okay, often attributed to happy or sad. We're just going to talk about major for now. And they also have key signatures, which you've probably seen before, especially if you're in band. And key signatures have sharps and flats. But we're not going to worry about that for now either. Right now, all we're going to worry about is learning what do is and then labeling what the solfege of the notes are, okay? So, some examples. In the key of C, do would be C. Okay, because the key always tells us what do is. So if the key is C, do is C. If the key is G, do is G. And it would go on and on. We're going to focus on, sorry about that. We're going to focus on C and G for now. So if we look down here, you'll see that in our key of C, we find any note that is C, and that's do. All right, so in this example, we have two C's here. We have the third space, F-A-C-E, which we know is a C. We also have this lower ledger line, which we know is also C. So both of those would be do. Okay? And if you're struggling to know what these notes that are below the staff are, I would refer to your note naming cheat sheet where we have these ledger lines here that tell us that one line below the staff is a C, okay? So you can always look at your note naming cheat sheet for any of this. It's going to be very helpful for you. So then, if we know that this is do, this line note, the next space note right here is going to be the next solfege syllable, which is re. Then the next note would be mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Now this is where I'm going to do something really important, and hopefully you've stuck with the video this long. If you go to the second page of your note naming cheat sheet, there's a whole information page on solfege. And it actually tells you right up here the order of solfege. This is going to be really important for you to know the order of solfege. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Those are the order of the notes. And down here I have some diagrams which show you what the notes are. So basically what we're doing right here is the same as this. In C major, right here, you see we're labeling this key as C major. Do is always a C. And then re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And then look, in parentheses, do, it would keep going. The next note would be re. The next note would be mi. It always follows this exact pattern. Okay? The same thing happens in the key of G. Over here, you'll see that in the key of G, do is G, of course. So here's a G. This is why our note naming is important. We have to remember what notes are what. So in treble clef, the second line is a G, which means this would be do in this key. And then we'd continue up. Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. We're going to be working in the key of C and G right now. And on the back of your note naming cheat sheet are every note labeled in the keys of C and G. So it should be pretty straightforward. Let's practice. First example is to label the solfege in the key of C. All right, well, let's figure out what note this is. Hopefully you know it. If you don't, you can always go to your note naming cheat sheet and find it. We're in the treble clef. and that note would be a C. In the key of C, do is C, so this would be do. And I'm going to type in do here. Move my text box. Okay, do. Great. Now, we have to figure out what note this is. Okay, so a couple ways we could do this. We could start on do, which we know is right here. Go down a note to this line would be T. Go down another note to this space, which would be La. And then down one more note to this line, which would be So. The reason I knew the order of that is because solfege works backward if the notes go down. So if you start on do and go up, it goes do, re, mi. If you start on do and go down, it would go do, ti, la. You can see how this is put into practice down here. If you start all the way up here, you go do, down to ti, down to la, down to so. And over here, you could start on do and go up. Do, up to re, up to mi, up to fa. So this is going to tell you, you can notice that I'm going to write down our so here. And this note is the same as this one. So they're just labeled for you on this sheet if you really think about it. Okay? Now here's one that is below the staff here. And one way to figure this one out would be to look at our sheet and remember that this note is do, the C down here. So the D up here would be re. Okay? So you can really just kind of look at the sheet that I have for you to tell you, what solfege to use. Re. Here's one that you notice is just one note above so. We have this line note here is so. The next note up here must be la. So we will put a la here. Okay, and you could also look at your sheet here, of course. This space is la. That's only in the key of C. Now we'll move on to the key of G. And in the key of G, do is G. So we start conveniently on a G, so I will make another text box and label that one. This must be do. Okay, there it is. Now the next note would be re in this space. Next note would be mi in this line. And then in this next space, which this note is on here, it's the note C, but it is not do, because we're in the key of G. And in the key of G, do is G. So if we count up to the note C, it would actually be fa. And you can see that on your cheat sheet right here. We have do, re, mi, fa. Same thing over here, we just skip the re and the mi in the middle. So do, this note would be called fa in this key. Put fa right there. If we went up to the next note here, you'd see that after fa would be so on this line right here. And then on this space, we would have la. Okay, and again, here it is, right over on the cheat sheet. La is on the top space in G major. It should be different in C major, of course. You always have to be looking at your key. Remember, the key is so important. It's just like this key on a map. So the most important thing you need to know is what key you're in, and then you can figure out what the solfege are. So we're in the key of G. Do is G. C would be fa. E would be la. Okay, and lastly, we go all the way back down here to an F, which is one note below G. So F is below G, and one note below do would be T. Because we remember that that is the order of our solfege. And down here, you can even look at what the hand signs are. We have do here. Below do is T. So we'll put a T down here. And that labels our melody. Okay, so just a little practice for you here. Your next task is to go to Google Classroom and fill out the Google form titled Solfege Practice Week 11. It's going to ask you some questions about what you learned in this lesson, as well as doing some of the practice examples like we did here. The key thing, and I hope you've stuck with the video this long, the key thing is to use this backside of your note naming cheat sheet for help. There's no shame in doing that. We are just beginning our journey with solfege, so I urge you to use this cheat sheet with the list of syllables and the example notes down here to help you complete the assignment. All right, so head over to Google Classroom and submit that, and have a great rest of your day.